the ring, Italian fighter Angela Carini abruptly withdrawing from her match against Algeria's Imane Khelif after just 46 seconds and some hard punches. Khelif's participation in the women's matches has been under renewed scrutiny.
So the 2024 Olympics are underway, and Imane Khelif from Algeria is receiving a lot of backlash over beating her opponent from Italy, Angela Carini. Now, the news is saying that Imane is a biological male and is unfairly fighting women. Now, when I first saw this headline as the father of a daughter and just someone who's into sports, I thought, wait, why is this going on? I saw so many posts, so many YouTube videos, so many people losing. Even today working, I had even some of my coworkers and employees telling me like this is an outrage. But then I asked, wait a minute, let's slow the brakes and look at this objectively. Because remember, on this channel, that's what we do. I'm a man of science, so I need to look back at the layers and analyze this. Because the first question I asked is, Algeria, that's a predominantly Muslim country, and it seems very unlikely that a transgender person would be competing for them. That's the first flag that went up in my head to say, this may not be all that it seems. Now, I have some people very close to me who are working with pro-female athletes, and they had a lot to say, and they were not happy. And I get that. But let's peel back the layers a little bit, because I remember a few years ago in track, Caster Semenya from South Africa faced this, but her situation was a lot different with a disorder having to do with being intersex and being assigned female at birth, but not having working fallopian tubes or uterus, but having female genitalia. So I can see where this can go. So having these high levels of testosterone will play a factor. But after looking deeper, and I still want to see this unfold, I'll put that first and foremost, but after looking deeper, it seems that there may be more things going on that may be more political in the sense of the first time that Imane got tested and got flagged for this was kind of murky and it wasn't fully disclosed why. Now, from appearance, I can get why you can think she may be transgender. She has masculine features, but is this to say any woman with masculine features is a transgender? Because if we want to be PC, everyone wants to be woke nowadays, you're kind of saying that any woman that doesn't look perfectly like a quote unquote woman is a man. That's a slippery slope, and we don't want to dance on that. But also, when we think of the fact of if she is a biological woman and does have higher levels of testosterone, then this is something she's born with. Now, if I was to play devil advocate for a second, we can look at Olympian Michael Phelps, who had more than double the capacity in his lungs as the average person, about 12 liters, meaning the more oxygen he can transport to his body, the more efficiently his body can perform for longer durations. And you can think a full body exercise like swimming could lend to him winning those medals. But wait, does that make him necessarily a better swimmer? Yes, but no, because all in all, more goes into adjusting his biological performance. Now, can it give him an advantage? Of course, but he still has to be a good swimmer. He still has to be able to execute the plan accordingly. Now, getting back to Imane, she beat Carini, but looking at her record, it actually said that she had lost to multiple other women, and even some women who are in the Olympics about to face her, like, okay, bring her. Because all in all, fighting, I work with numerous fighters in MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, some high-level names, if I might add, and it takes more than just being strong. Obviously, if you have way more power and strength, it's going to help you. But it didn't seem like her other opponents seemed to be too worried about knockout power. And even in the Olympics, it's structured a lot different than a typical boxing match. So you don't see too many of those clear-cut knockouts. So from that standpoint, there may not be as much to worry about. But getting back to the whole uproar, how did this even get to the point of spreading so fast? And we got to be real. People hear things on the internet, misinformation, confirmation bias, and another cognitive bias called the availability heuristic, which means the most readily available information your brain takes in is what's going to make sense. In this case, it's like, this woman dominates another woman, but she looks like a man. The Olympics had this other thing where they had transgender, LGBTQ people. It seems like there's an agenda going on, some big conspiracy. But all in all, what's really the gain from that? That's what I look at. Occam's razor, right? What's the simplest solution? Is it some big conspiracy to get men and women sports? Maybe. Or does this woman just have maybe higher levels of testosterone, a stronger facial structure? Because once again, I find it hard for my logic that a predominantly Muslim country would allow a transgender athlete. It just doesn't seem like that would be feasible. And the fact that she wasn't overly dominant, because like Fallon Fox, if you remember this person, they transitioned from male to female and was dominating, but they still lost. But it was much more dominance in this than Imane is doing. So I don't know what to say, because a lot of people are making this political. Some people are saying it's all about, women's rights in sports. And I agree, like women shouldn't be going against men or biological men who transition, because even if the transition happened, the bone density, the muscle structure, that's still there. And there's just a level of athleticism that's never going to be achieved. That's why there's different leagues for a reason. But if we look closer and we see all the information at hand, and I still want to see what more comes out, because the Olympic Committee has even stood by Imane saying that we support her, and the backlash that's been given is kind of unfair, because if you put yourselves in her shoes, if you go on your whole life looking masculine, you probably got teased. You probably spent a lifetime, I don't know, but speculation, a lifetime of getting bullied or teased for this reason. Now the whole world's doing it, and they're coming to the defense of Angela Carini, who I don't know her story either. So I'm not trying to say it's a good or bad, right or wrong, but all in all, we got to look at this more holistically. So I'm going to keep letting this information come out so we can see. But from what I have seen, now I could be mistaken if more comes out, but as of now, it seems that Imane is a biological female who may have higher levels of testosterone, which can definitely aid in performance. But given her track record of, I think, 9 losses, that's not dominating. In fighting, one loss could end your career. There's fighters who went undefeated up until they got to the UFC or the top rank of boxing, and then they lost eventually. But to have 9 losses up to that point, that's not necessarily the track record of someone who's over dominating. That's crazy power. But I digress. So let's think about this, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think it is a biological man to transition, you're entitled to your opinion based on what you've learned and know. And I would implore you that you dig deeper than just what you saw on an Instagram post, because way too often we make these judgments because our brain can really trick us. So with that being said, maybe I'll do more on this if it gets even deeper. But until then, I think this is all I'm going to say. But we shall see. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And as always, get your mind right.